Another type of authentication that we can use is called Kerberos authentication. And this is what we're using pretty much up to date with the latest and greatest from Microsoft. Now, Kerberos gets its name from the three-headed dog that guards the gates of hell, or also Fluffy if you're a Harry Potter fan. Kerberos is better, stronger, and faster. It is ticket-based, so we issue tickets that are then used to represent the credentials. It's, again, fast because we don't have to keep re-authenticating the user over and over, or possibly the computer. And again, it avoids the transmission of passwords. Now, there's one little kicker on this one, and that is that it's time-based. Everybody remember the PDC back with enumeration? The PDC was in charge of syncing everybody's clock to itself, because when it comes to Kerberos, the default with Microsoft is you cannot be more than 5 minutes in time difference between the PDC and your system clock. If you are, we won't authenticate you. So let's take a look at how Fluffy's used. First of all, we have a computer and a user, and we know that we have a domain controller. Now, the domain controllers have some special services running on them. One of them is what they refer to as the KDC, or a Key Distribution Center. And let's say that we have a file server that we're trying to gain access to. Well, again, the user is going to make a request to the domain controller saying, I need to be authenticated, please. The domain controller responds back with a, yeah, what can I do for you? I can authenticate you. The user's computer then says, I need to get a TGT. This is short for a ticket granting ticket. Think of it as a hall pass. Remember those days in school when you had to go to the restroom, you had to get a hall pass because if you got caught out in the hallway without a pass, you got in trouble. Same concept here. Again, because the computer and the domain controller are members of the same domain, the domain controller is able to issue this TGT or this ticket to the user to be then utilized when they want to gain access to resources. I believe the default timeout on a TGT is like 8 hours, so you have to re-authenticate regardless every 8 hours. So when the user wants to gain access to the file on the file server, they just simply present their TGT. The file server sees that it's from a trusted source. It will quickly check with the domain controller and say, is this account still valid? And the reason why it does this in case an administrator has locked the user out. But again, no passwords are ever transmitted throughout the environment. Now, just because tickets are being utilized here doesn't mean that you're safe. We'll be looking at a tool a little bit later on called John the Ripper. Very, very famous tool. It's probably one of the more powerful tools out there today. And John the Ripper, it's a Linux tool. It can crack Unix, LM hash passwords, NTLM passwords, and Kerberos passwords.